Assalamu alaikum. We are going to resume our study of chapter 19. So please remember, chapter 19 is about production and costs. So our main focus in chapter 19 is production and costs. So please remember, whenever you produce something, you need raw materials, you need inputs, factors of production, labor, capital, land, entrepreneurship, and all of these will incur some costs, right? Because of these, the business will incur some costs. So that is how the concept of production and costs are connected. So remember, in the last lecture, we looked at a very specific kind of cost, which is called marginal cost. So let's abbreviate it using MC. So let's try to understand this with another simple example. So this is a different example just to help you understand and refresh this idea. So let's say when we are producing 10 burgers, the total cost that we incur is, let's say, $100. So to make 10 burgers, we are incurring a total cost of $100. Now let's say when we make 11 burgers, the total cost that is incurred is $120. So as you can see, the extra amount of money that we need to make this one additional burger is $20. So therefore this $20 is the marginal cost of this 11th burger. So please remember, marginal cost is the additional cost of making one additional burger. So to make this additional burger, the 11th burger, we need extra $20. So our total cost jumps from $100 to $120. So please try to relate this to reality. If you try, you will be able to. So for example, when you want to increase the production of burger from 10 to 11 units, you need more cheese, more meat, more bread. So this $20 most likely represents the cost of those extra inputs or raw materials. So there is another very important cost concept, and that is called average total cost. At the beginning, average total cost and marginal cost might seem very similar to you, but they are different. That is why these are different concepts. So average total cost is abbreviated as ATC. So remember, average is defined as total. In case of business, it's always total divided by quantity, and this is always true in accounting, in finance. So please remember this pattern. This will always apply. Average is equal to total divided by quantity. So for example, let's say you want to calculate the average cost in this case. So let's highlight this portion here. Let's say you want to calculate the average cost when you're producing 10 burgers. So we are producing 10 burgers. So Q is equal to 10. So remember, you're producing 10 burgers and your total cost is $100. So your total cost is 100. So if you do the calculation, you see you end up with $10. So this is the average total cost what does this mean in reality? So please remember, this is the average total cost. So this is the total cost per unit. So it's a very useful, important information. $10 is the total cost per burger. Right? So to make one burger, on average, you're going to incur $10. As you can see, it's slightly different from marginal cost. And you will see, if you want to calculate the total average total cost here, you can do that, right? So you might need a calculator for that. So when you're producing 11 burgers, just as you saw above, you are incurring a total cost of $120. So if you do the math, you get somewhere, 11 point. So you're going to get approximately $11 or $10.9 using a calculator. So this is the cost per burger, total cost per burger when you're making 11 burgers. When you're making 10 burgers, cost per burger is $10. As you can see, the total cost is different from the marginal cost. These are different ideas. So the marginal cost was $20. In this case, the average total cost is $10.9. So now we move on to a very important topic of chapter 19. So in this topic, we look at the relationship between average cost, average total cost, and marginal cost. So there is a very interesting mathematical relationship between. So let's use the symbol here between average total cost and marginal cost. So what is the relationship? I'll explain this briefly. I won't go into too much detail. So the idea is, whenever the marginal cost is greater than the average total cost, mathematically it can be proven, it can be shown that the average total cost will increase. And as you can guess, if the opposite happens, if the marginal cost is lower than the average total cost, in that case the average total cost should fall. So this should be ATC, I'm sorry, right? ATC, average total cost. So let me explain this briefly using the example of cricket. Let's say a batsman makes an average of 50 runs per match. So that is his average score per match. Now, if in the next match he makes 100, so that is his marginal run, or like marginal cost. So in the next match he makes 100. What is going to happen to his average? Definitely it is going to increase. If you follow cricket, if you just know something about cricket, you'll be able to relate, understand. So for example, if the same batsman whose average is 50, if in the next match he makes a duck, goes out for 0, then definitely the average is going to fall, right? The average run. So that is the idea. It's very simple. So please remember this. So just now you saw a very interesting mathematical relationship. If the marginal value, if this is greater than the average value, then definitely the average value will increase. Mathematically it must. And if the opposite is true, if the marginal value is less than the average value, in that case the average value must fall. Mathematically it has to be true. So why is this important? This is important when you sketch the graph. So we are trying to draw the graph of marginal cost and average cost. So remember, cost depends upon your output quantity. So the dependent variable in most cases goes into the y-axis. The independent variable, in this case q, goes into the x-axis. So you saw in the last class that marginal cost increases as you produce more and more. So marginal cost is upward sloping. So remember, this is due to the law of diminishing marginal returns. So initially when you're producing less output, let's say 5 units, the marginal cost might be very low, let's say $10. As you increase production, you need to add more labor, more raw materials. So when you're producing 10 units, the marginal cost might increase. It jumps to $15. So anyways, so what about average total cost? So let me just clear this up. So average total cost is actually shaped like this, U-shaped. So average total cost is U-shaped. Now, what is the reason? Because we know why the marginal cost is upward sloping, because of the law of diminishing marginal returns. So why is the average total cost, why is this U-shaped? Well, the reason is this relationship. So initially, when the marginal cost is low, as you can see here, right, on this side, so let's call this point Q star, let's say. So it can be 10, it can be 20, depending on the business. Let's call this Q star. So on the left side of Q star, as you can see, the marginal cost is low. Let me use a different color here. On the left side of Q star, the marginal cost is low. So the marginal cost is less than the average total cost. As you can see, the average total cost is higher. So please remember, this is the average total cost. It is above, it is greater than the marginal cost. But on the right side of Q star, as you can see, the marginal cost is now greater, it is above. And the average total cost is below, it is lower. So on the right side, this is true, right? The marginal cost is greater than the average total cost. So remember, when the marginal cost is greater than the average total cost will increase, must. As you can see, because of this, the average total cost is increasing. So it's going up, right? It's increasing. But in this region, it is decreasing. Why is it decreasing? Because of this relation, right? Because on the left side, this is true. On the left side, the marginal cost is lower. As you can see, the marginal cost is lower than the average cost. So that is why it is decreasing. So it decreases until this point. So this is the lowest point. Please understand, although the diagram is not 100% accurate, but please understand this is the lowest point. This is the minimum point. So in mathematics, we call this a minimum point. So this is the minimum point. Why? Because after this point, the marginal cost becomes greater. So after this point, average cost will start to increase. So that is why it is the lowest point. After this, the average cost starts to increase. So this is a very, very important idea. You're going to need this later on in Eco 101 and maybe in the future as well. So because of this relationship, this will always happen. The marginal cost and the average total cost will always intersect at the lowest point of ATC. So this is the lowest point of ATC, and this is your marginal cost, this is your ATC. So please think about this, try to understand this. Anyways, let's move on to the last discussion of today's class. So please go through the slides yourself. I'm just trying to cover the important topics. I'll leave the rest to you. So remember, the main focus of chapter 19, as you might have understood, the main focus of chapter 19 is business organizations. So in chapter 18, we looked at households. In chapter 19, we are focusing on business firms or business organizations. So according to economic theory, the aim of all business organizations is to maximize profit. So every business wants to obtain the highest possible profit they can using their labor, using their capital. So every business wants to maximize profit. So the question is, how do they do it? We are trying to look at the mathematical explanation. So mathematically, it can be shown that the profit is maximized when the marginal cost is equal to the marginal revenue. Now I'll try to explain this later on, but mathematically we can show this, that the profit is maximized when marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue. So we know what is marginal cost, we have covered this before. So what is marginal revenue? I think you can guess this. So please remember, marginal means additional or extra. So marginal revenue is the additional revenue that a business obtains from selling one additional product. So whenever you sell one additional burger, the extra revenue that you get, that is the marginal revenue. So this is the additional revenue from selling one additional burger. You can understand the definitions are very similar. They have almost the same pattern in all of them. The additional revenue from selling one additional burger. So let me explain this with the help of an example. Let's try to understand this idea using a very simple example. So let's say you are selling the first burger. So you make the first burger, and to make this burger you need extra, let's say $5. So you need some extra cheese, patty, bread. So let's say this is the extra amount that you need to put into your shop to make this first burger. So this is your marginal cost, let's assume. And let's say you're selling this burger to a customer, to a buyer at, let's say, $10. So this is your marginal revenue, because when you sell this burger at $10, this is the extra additional revenue you get. So please remember, revenue means simply income. So this is your income from the first burger. So this is your additional income, the extra money that goes into your cash counter, right? This extra $10 is added to your cash counter when you sell the first burger. So the marginal revenue is greater than the marginal cost. So definitely you will sell this burger, you're going to produce and sell the burger. Why? Because the benefit is greater than the cost. So remember, if the benefit is greater than the cost, in that case it is likely someone will do something. In this case, the burger shop will produce burger and sell it. But please remember, as you produce more and more burger, the marginal cost will increase. So let's say when you make the second burger, according to theory, the marginal cost is likely to increase, so it increases to $6. But still you're selling the burger at $10, let's assume. So still that's good. You can make $4 of profit from this second burger because you get $10 and you're spending only $6. So you get this extra marginal profit of $4, as you can understand. Anyways, this is the marginal revenue and this is the marginal cost of the second burger. So definitely you're going to produce and sell this burger. There will be some profit here. There will be some profit in the first burger as well. So there is some profit here as well. So you make some profit here from the first burger. You make some profit from the second burger. So as you keep on producing burgers, remember the marginal cost is increasing. So at one point, the marginal cost becomes equal to the marginal revenue. So remember, you're selling burgers at $10. So the marginal revenue becomes equal to marginal cost. So the marginal cost increases, right? So it increases at one point, it becomes $10. So let's say this happens at the fourth or fifth burger. Let's say this happens at the fifth burger. So when you produce the fifth burger, the extra additional cost is $10 and you're selling it at $10. Now, this is, remember what we were saying, marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. So remember, we were talking about this condition, marginal revenue is equal to the marginal cost. So this is that point here, right? The condition we highlighted above, marginal revenue is equal to so marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. So when this happens, the business is maximizing profit. So what is the idea? So remember, from the first burger, the business makes some profit. From the second burger, the business will make some profit. From the third burger, there will be some profit. From the fourth burger, there is some profit. And this is the case for the fifth burger. So in this case, there will be some positive accounting profit, that is according to economic theory. So when the marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost, there is still some positive accounting profit. So that is why the business will produce this fifth burger, but not after this, because remember, when you make the sixth burger, if the business produces the sixth burger, which they never will, but let's say they do, if they produce the sixth burger, remember the marginal cost is increasing, the marginal cost is going up. So the marginal cost will become greater than the marginal revenue, right? So definitely the business will not want this. Cost is greater than the benefit. So that is why the business will not produce the sixth burger. They will stop here. They will produce and sell 5 burgers, let's say, every day. So that's the idea. So if the business produces and sells 5 burgers or 5 units, in that case the business will be able to maximize profit, because at this 5 units MR is equal to MC. So this is also called the profit maximizing condition, because at this point the profit is maximized. So that is why it's called the profit maximizing condition. So if you go through the slides, if you go through the book, I think you'll get even a much more better understanding. So please do that. That's all for today. Thanks for listening. Take care, stay safe.